Thank you, Chairperson. Good evening, General.
Yes, sir.
To be honest, General, really, all questions have been asked. You know, I've been sitting here next to Honorable Ngol, and I keep saying, "Hey, bo, there goes another question of mine." So, General, I just want to clean up a few things, right? And I need you to understand that. Sorry, I've said this before, but now we at deliberations and report writing stage. There'll be testimonies that are put here that we need to put back to you, that if they haven't been responded, then they go uncontested. So that's the thinking around my questioning. But maybe let me just start here. How have things been since July 6th? We see that you're working. How is the system settling? How is it working? And did your officers eventually receive their awards? I'm thinking there would have been police service awards recently. So how have things been?
From the operational side point of view, things are looking good. The stats are talking, the case laws that are in courts are talking, there is evidence to that. We are looking good. The cases that have been stalled, that otherwise had we not done that press conference, will still be having people walking the streets. Those cases are in court. We can talk today about the majority of the things that is the wrong in the police, but the key figures of some of these things are already behind bars. So we are seeing positive coming out of that. Members that have been deliberately pushed out of operations have been brought back by the very same courts to come and do their police work. That's why we are seeing this wheel of justice starting to grind, because our cry was to make sure that this wheel keeps grinding. And to the extent that the leadership is bringing it to the hold in that fashion, that's what was concerning us. But we are seeing movements that are happening. Part of the work that has been done, especially in Gauteng, there's more that could be done if the capacity is there. I've said before, honorable members, I'm glad you're asking this question about the rewards to the members, because it still pains me today. We are where we are today because of two sergeants that started this problem. They were joined by another sergeant, and eventually they were joined by another team. But those two that resisted those envelopes from Shibiri, those two that resisted being convinced in parties where Mulifes and them were, those two that went ahead and made sure that the Vereeniging case is investigated, are the ones that are our heroes. Sadly, they remain sergeants. I'm told one was promoted now because Kumalo had to make a plan to try and promote him. But the other one is not. They remain sergeants to date. We had pleaded with the National Commissioner to reward these members. We've had excellence awards. Unfortunately, they didn't get a single certificate for the work they've done. Now, this is the Gauteng squad I'm talking about. What we complain about, which is the first thing that means that disbanded. We said that before, which I kept on referring to what Honorable James have done yesterday, to realize that we've always been backing at the wrong tree. PKTT was never a problem. The problem was what was happening in Gauteng, which organized crime unit in Gauteng was involved, and counterintelligence in Gauteng got involved later. That is where the issues were. PKTT members that only came to assist, and they went back. They didn't even stay there. They came, did what they did, and they went back. They remain in KZN. But the ones that remain in Gauteng to do the job are the ones that this country and this government should really be rewarding. They remain sergeants. We've said before, I'm the general, yes, who might regard me as a person who brought this to the surface. But the people that really were feeling the heat are the ones that are carrying a case docket. Day and night being approached by different people. A sergeant doesn't earn much. So it's easy for these people loaded with money to approach them and bribe them with money. But they refuse that. Okay. And we have not recognized them. The ones that I talked about, team members. Those PKTT members that have done the wonderful job that Honorable Ngango spoke about were promised to be rewarded last year. That was put on hold, postponed, simply because of the letter of the minister. The National Commission promised that it's going to do something to them. The next Excellence Awards came and gone. They still did not get anything
Okay.
to date. So none of those have been rewarded with anything.
Okay. I think it's very unfortunate and it's noted, General. I mean, I remember even the last time you came here, how you spoke of that matter. Hence, I thought to ask. But now, tell me, General, the new leadership, I'll suppose, well, I suppose this is only really the minister that's new, but are you getting any sense of reforms that are being put in place as this process proceeds to begin to deal with a lot of the issues that are being uncovered?
I think the difficulty, yeah, well, I'm at the province. The minister, acting minister kept on promising to come to the province. So we haven't necessarily engaged much or get much of the directive of how we should do things with the acting minister. But I understand he's acting. So there's maybe a limitation what he can do. We right at onset, I had warned him about the chief of staff in his office because he walked into the office as one individual. I think he brought only one advisor with him. But the staff he found there, it's a staff that to date are assisting Minister Mkhunu to phone people that are in witness protection. It's the same staff in that office. So how is the acting minister going to maneuver in that space? I don't know how he does it. But from where I'm sitting, the limited engagement looks promising, but there's nothing yet that is before me that I can put as a reference. But so far, the engagement is encouraging. That's why I even know now that actually IP have told the acting minister that that matter they were investigating, where did the complaint come from?
Okay. General, okay, you said something very interesting here, which I hope I'm going to have time to come back to about minister phoning people in witness protection. But I want to know, General, Namhla's docket, is it back with the PKTT? How far is the case now?
No, the docket was sent back to the Eastern Cape. So I do not know what's the status of the docket, but it was.
But I
sent
thought
back.
the PKTT has not been disbanded and it was a PKTT document. Why is it gone back to the Eastern Cape?
It was a directive that was given that the only the KZN, remaining KZN, Eastern Cape must go to Eastern Cape. That's a directive that was given. So I do not know the reason behind.
By who, not General? Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused. Let me explain why. Because the issue of station of origin and where the dockets go, it sounded like it had been completed. Then we were told, I think just after Madlanga Commission started, we were told that the dockets were returned to yourself in KwaZulu-Natal. Who then gave a directive for these dockets to then be dispersed again?
With your permission, honorable members, I've got my colleagues here. I can ask Gerald Kamane to get this before we finish this so we can give it a response. Because
Thank you. Are you happy with that decision? Because I got the sense that Namhla's family, Namhla's community, South Africans were looking to the PKTT to work on this matter and resolve it. Were you happy with the decision that the dockets are now dispersed once again?
Look, I cannot say I was happy or not. I remain in KZN. So cases that are outside KZN, I cannot fight for them. Doesn't matter how I might look at it, because I might then be judging the colleague in the province that are not able to do the job. If it was still a KZN docket that was taken somewhere else, I was not going to be pleased. But in this instance, I can't necessarily comment much because the incident did not happen in KZN anyway.
Okay, I'm sure the general who's awaiting to be on the witness stand will help us there. I did say, General, that I didn't have many questions for you, so I went to fundraise some questions. And there were people on social media who gave me a few questions. There was a guy called Malia Vusa Mulaudzi. Says that when you came before us, you said there's an MP that if you name, our country will burn. Now, I'm raising this within the context of you talking about members of parliament. You remember, Mos, at some point you even pointed at all of us. In your evidence, you only led evidence against Honorable Collar Barnett and Honorable Adams. Are there MPs that you still believe are enabling, to use your words, all of this rogueness within criminal intelligence?
Yeah, well, those are the people that we've identified in terms of enabling. But in terms of benefiting from crime intelligence, that is the angle I was coming with when I said, if the intelligence were to name those that are benefiting financially from crime intelligence, is that what was going to cause a problem?
After everything that we've been through, General, do you think it's still correct that things are being hidden in such a manner? I mean, we've had long debates here about how you can't classify criminality and all sorts of things. Now, if criminal intelligence is aware of such things, is it correct that, we're still keeping all of these things hidden? How are we ever going to get rid of the problem then?
South Africa is not immune from the operations of intelligence all over the world. There is no country that is going to disclose everything, how they do it. But the parliamentarians must find a way through your colleagues in the Joint Standing Committee to get to know how safe are we, whether these, what you see as a systematic failure, are they being corrected? Because that committee oversees 3 intelligence communities in this country. Crime intelligence is but one. There's defense intelligence and there's state security. If crime intelligence has a budget of, as Mr. Police will talk about the million, maybe 100 million rand or 600 million rand, state security might have tripled that amount. And the entire budget is secret fund. So if there is misuse of funds in the police, there is a likelihood that perhaps in other agencies, similar things happen, or even worse. So it is important that the parliamentarians take note of this. We cannot then come and open our methods of operations on covert things before the world, because this is an international people watching this, international intelligent people that are watching these things. So there's limitation what you can tell, what you cannot tell. And it's not a secret of government, the government that is there on the day. No. It's for the safety of the country, beyond the administration that is voted in. Every president coming in, the executive come in, must comply with the act of keeping such secrets and operations of government. Otherwise, when we are transparent, we're going to regret one day. So we can't always display everything we do.
Okay, I think that's up for debate. General, there's a witness that testified here. I can't remember whether it was Mr. Mlotshwa or Mr. Adams who said the National Commissioner was at the gate of prison, and that was the trigger for the media briefing. Now, you today speak very authoritatively that had the National Commissioner been arrested, Sibiya would have been appointed National Commissioner. Now, I don't want to leave this open-ended. I need to understand, what do you base this on? Because the president appoints the National Commissioner. Now, what makes you so sure that Sibiya would have been appointed National Commissioner? And I hope that you were not insinuating that then the president would have acted in concert with these criminal syndicates. Can you just give us the basis for that statement that you made?
The president, not necessarily about the current president, even presidents in the past, they will always listen to a person that they've appointed as a cabinet member responsible for the department on the recommendations of what is the course of action to be taken next. So when you have a national commissioner arrested, he's not dismissed. So it means there must be a fitness board that is going to follow thereafter. In the interim, what do you do? The president get influenced by someone. I don't, sitting here today, I do not believe that President Zuma knew a person called Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. For him to take a decision that when he suspends...
So who influenced him?
To the extent when he suspends Cele, he then picks up Mkhwanazi, who's a major general, to come and act with no political credentials, nothing, just a simple task force member. Someone, I believe, a senior police officer within that system of closer to the president, threw my name in there, maybe via the minister as well, but it was influenced by a police officer that landed to the desk of the president. And the president says, okay, I take this man. And he becomes acting national commissioner. When I'm not complying with the directives, then they go back and ask, but this person you brought to us, who is he? So they were frustrated after that. So that's why I moved out. So when it happened to me, it means it can happen to anyone. So I believe that the likelihood of an acting person being appointed without involving the Minister of Police is almost zero. The president will have been influenced, correctly so, with the recommendation coming to him, coming from the cabinet member responsible to say, let's put this one in the meantime to hold the fort.
Okay.
I don't
Now-
think it would have been wrong even for that decision to be taken.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. I hear you, General, but I think we can put that down to supposition. Because Honorable Mates, for example, read to you the president's affidavit in relation to ministers' authority to disband PKTT. President disagreed with the minister. So I would say that you were assuming it was a supposition, even maybe conjecture at this point. It's not a given.
We are in this today because of the disbandment of the PKTT. If the president says he did not agree with it, I'm still waiting like anyone else to see action against the same minister. So what the information I have is the role that Spear was playing in this process of disbanding this team, his active role that he was playing, and how he was engaging with the minister, the relationship. There's WhatsApp communication, how he influenced the ministers, deputy ministers, how to manage the National Commission. We spoke about it. The evidence is there. Well, I was not there, and I will invite you to get the Director General at the Civilian Secretariat, who was a secretary of the panel when they were looking for the head of DPCI, to come and tell you what happened in that panel and how the minister wanted Spear to be in that panel, only to discover that he does not meet the requirement. So with all that put in place and what we see happening, the Spear's attitude, I cannot help but to conclude that with that information we receive was correct, that he would have been the next person walking into that office. Had that been done, we would have closed shop today. And I must, with the support of Mr. Adams and anyone else, it's true. I did mention when I was here that the National Commission was a door of prison. So Mr. Adams didn't thumbs up that. He took it from me.
Okay. You know where you and I differ, General, on a number of issues is that I'm really trying, you know, as difficult as it is, to stick to the letter of our terms of reference, which is investigate the veracity of the allegations. So, you know, I remember earlier on today, you addressed me on the issue of the minister. It's because we need to get to the veracity of the allegations. So that's why I also did not want to leave this one open-ended. Honorable Vessels asked you for a comment, and I think you probably forgot to comment on Brown Mogotsi's allegation that you are or you were a CIA agent. Could you just comment on this? Why would this gentleman say you and the king were working together, Silo Samabandla? I don't know what you were doing about coal and Israel and China. Do you have any comment on those allegations, General?
Yeah, well, the honorable member made a comment. He didn't ask me to respond on it. He just passed a comment. These are some of the things that I wanted to speak about when I come here. But I then thought, Brown Mogotsi is just an information peddler. He hears things and he claims to be having knowledge about it. He gets involved in some of the things, but then exaggerate his involvement on some of things. I do hope that the USA as a country, independent country, and Israel take action against Brown Mogotsi for that, what she said. He withdrew it here, but I wish they take action against him because he was just thumb-sucking to create a story. That's him. And when he said at one stage he went to Kenya and did all those things, and he was part of of Thabo Bester's arrest, amongst others. It's a person that is closer to the people that are involved in doing things, but he makes it his own. That's why I made an example about Ket Matlala have told him that he had came to see me in Devon. But because he did not remember where the meeting was, he came here, he said it was a house. He even put a house number. There's a house number on his statement. And that house number of his statement, it's a house which is a police house at Mhlanga. Someone gave him the house number and said, this man stays in this house number. Put that on the statement. So you can see that he had the story, he acted as if he's the one who was part of it. So the CIA thing is a narrative that people will use, mainly politicians will say you are an agent of this because they want to suppress your opinions on things. I've been in many continents, thanks to the South African Police Service. Different countries all over the world, they've traveled. I've trained with many units out there. But I cannot be classified as an agent of any. So I must be an agent of Jamaica. I've been into Jamaica. I must be an agent of Trinidad and Tobago. I must be an agent of Zimbabwe, an agent of Mozambique. So why is he not picking up everything that sits on my passports? And he goes and he throws those ones because they're going to be a bit sensitive. Why he chose the king? I don't know. I think he just played on something that he wants to create so that it sounds as realistic as possible. I do hope and pray that the Americans and the Israelis, they are watching this. They hunt him down and they take action against him.
Okay. General Sentimule, when she was speaking to us, I just need you to help us with this one. She said that she made the call for those dockets to be released on the 6th of December or whenever. In your knowledge, since there was a lot of moving of dockets, what should she have done? What due diligence should she have exercised on moving off dockets from where they were?
A person that cannot be trusted as Sentumule, as you have heard on the communication between MSB, I think she did what she should be doing as a person that cannot be trusted. If she was a person that could be trusted, she would have told Sibia that I'm a divisional commissioner, I've got no business with dockets in KZN. If you want to say anything about the dockets, go to Mkwanas and talk to him.